Why should we socialise? When we're young, when we're a child, really, no matter what sort of person we are, nearly all of us are always looking forward to that next time we'll be with our friends, we'll be playing, we'll just be being free, being ourselves. But we grow up, we get all of our responsibilities, maybe we have our family, we have our job, our career, maybe we're still studying, maybe we have our hobbies that we're really focused on, and it really can be all too easy to forget the importance of just going out, socialising, having a rest, trying something different to all of that responsibility. But should it really be like that? Today, we're going to consider that question. And, maybe you're someone, even you've grown up, you're an adult, but you do still have socialising, social events as part of your life. And that's really, really great. But I guess even if you're someone in that situation, it's always good to take a step back and think, reflect, understand really why it's so important, so beneficial for you. I'm a teacher and a tutor. I actually work 7 days a week, and obviously in my work it's very much involving socialising, interacting with others, and I get the opportunity to interact with all sorts of people. Young children in my students, but also adults in my colleagues and parents. I'm also an introvert, so when I'm not at work, I do like to spend time to myself and my hobbies, to think and reflect about my life. And so really over the last several years, I have dedicated very, very little time to socialising. But last week, I was invited along to a quiz night by a very close friend with lots of the foreigners and the teachers in the city I live in here in China, and I had a free evening. I hadn't gone to an event like that for a very, very long time, so I thought, why not? I went along. It was good fun. For obviously the first part of the evening, it was the quiz itself, and so at that time it was slightly more structured. So in our team we were still relaxed, we were still chatting, but we still had something to focus on in the quiz itself. Then the quiz finished and I stayed around for another couple of hours just chatting with my friend and some of the other people there. And I realised that in socialising and going to a social event, it really, really is such a beautiful thing, because you get the opportunity to really develop skills that you can't in your work, in your positions of responsibility, even if they do involve interacting with other people. Because when you're in your positions of responsibility, maybe it's a position in your family, your position in your job, in your career, you do have a much more determined role to play. And so what's different when you socialise is you're free from having such a role. And really that means you have the opportunity to develop new and actually also very important social skills, because you can just relax more, you can try to at all times be flexible, adapt the way you act based on the situation, who you're talking to, and so always look at how you can play different roles within the group dynamic, which is a really, really important social skill to have. And really even more than that, you do have an opportunity, which maybe you don't always have as much in your roles, your positions of responsibility, in that you do have freedom as much as you want to be yourself. And really, no matter who you are, that's fine. If you're someone who is a lot more quiet, even in a social situation, that's fine. You can just take on really more of a listening role, and that's something people really, really do appreciate. So when I was at this quiz, really, although I'm so used to interacting with people, because this was a slightly different context to what I'm used to practicing, it did feel a bit different. But then I could see the benefits even by the end of the evening, and how I was able to adapt and interact in a slightly different context. And what's more, it goes without saying, I met new people, we were laughing, having fun, sharing jokes together, And really, no matter what sort of person you are, introverted, more outgoing, there is something really, really beautiful about sharing moments with other people. That's something, humans, we're social animals. We should never ever forget that. And so always in our life create opportunities for those moments. Then as we're socializing, there really is that opportunity to meet new people. And in life, who you know, the contacts you have, you can't escape it. It really is so important. That's really how all sorts of opportunities in life can come up. And then finally, again, it had been a long time since I'd gone to a quiz night. It's not something I do on a regular basis. And as I look back at so many of the social activities I've done in the past, I've tried new games, lots of new sports, I've gone rock climbing, and these are things I wouldn't always do as part of my regular life. And that's another beautiful thing about socializing. Often you will get to try new activities. Maybe your friends introducing you to it. Maybe someone you're meeting is taking you there. And that's really, really great. Firstly, because in itself you're getting this opportunity to try new things. But then secondly, because when you try these activities, your goal, your focus is on the socializing aspect. When you do them, you're just enjoying them for enjoyment's sake. Whereas maybe when you do activities related to your hobbies or your job, you're very, very focused on the specifics of what you're doing, maybe the outcome. And so you don't really get to experience activities, maybe not as much, just like that. So, my friends, never let it get in the way of all of your responsibilities, which always are the most important thing in life. And equally, don't overdo it. If you're an introvert, you do need that alone time, that personal time. But for the benefits of developing a new type of social skill and refining it, where you're not acting under a very determined role, but you need to be more free, be more flexible, for the benefits of being able to perhaps be yourself slightly more, for the benefits of developing your contact list, meeting new people, for all of the advantages that come from that, for the benefits of sharing beautiful moments with other human beings as social animals, and for the benefits of trying new activities to get life experience and to experience enjoyment for enjoyment's sake, rather than being so focused on the specifics and the outcome. Never forget the importance of socializing. Bye bye.